Hi, I'm Luca Piccolboni from Columbia University. This is a short introduction to Crylogger, the first open source tool to detect cryptographic misuses in Android applications dynamically. Android applications heavily use cryptographic libraries to perform operations such as encryption, hashing, and authentication. Unfortunately, using these libraries is not always easy. Suppose that an app needs to perform an encryption with AES. The app has to call an API by passing as parameters the plain text and encryption key. In return, it receives the corresponding ciphertext. In addition, the current crypto libraries for Android require to specify other parameters, such as the operation mode and the padding scheme used for encryption. Configuring these parameters is critical for the security of the app, but it requires some expertise in cryptography that app developers don't always have. When these parameters are misconfigured, we say that the corresponding cryptographic APIs have been misused. To understand how common is the problem, we analyze approximately 1,800 Android apps downloaded from the Google Play Store. Differently from other approaches, we analyze these apps dynamically rather than statically. Analyzing these apps dynamically allows us to understand the real extent of this problem in Android and avoid the false positives that are frequent with static approaches. We found that many Android apps violate common rules defined by cryptographers and organizations such as NIST. In this graph, we report the number of apps that violate each of those rules. For example, more than 200 apps use ECB for encryption, which NIST considers a bad practice. To obtain these results, we developed Crylogger, an open source tool to detect crypto misuses dynamically. First, Crylogger monitors the relevant crypto APIs to log the parameters that are passed to each API. Here you can see how the application uses AES for encryption and how Crylogger logs the parameters passed to the API in a log file. Once the app completes its execution, Crylogger analyzes the log file and reports all the rule violations. For example, in this case, it reports that the app uses ECB for encryption. Note that Crylogger doesn't need to analyze the code of the apps, as it employs a dynamic approach which is scalable and accurate. To find out more about Crylogger, we invite you to read our paper and check out our repository on GitHub. Thank you for listening.